watching a webinar, man, and there was all these people in the room, and they were talking, and the guy that was talking about SEO. That's search engine optimization. And I mean, it was so technical, and I was like with him, and he was intriguing. But after a while, I just was overwhelmed by this guy's technical ability. I mean, the guy was a master at his craft. And so when he was done, the moderator, David Wood, comes up and he goes, hey guys, look, some of you are going to be interested in this. You know, you're kind of geeky and all that stuff, and that's cool. He says, other people, you couldn't care less. But you know what? If you could see the importance of what he's talking about, that's it. And it's part of the team effort. And I was thinking about that. What he's really talking about is each of us are different, but because we're different, we work together as a team. And as I was thinking about that, I was thinking about back in the 90s. I mean, the premier team in the NFL was the Dallas Cowboys. Now I know some people are booing right now, and some people are going raw, but you can't argue with success. In the 1990s, the team in the NFL was the Dallas Cowboys. And, the center of that team was their quarterback, Troy Aikman. And Troy Aikman, I've always had an appreciation for him. But around him, there were a lot of great players. And I remember his first year, I think they went like 1-11 or something nuts like that. It was rough. And Troy was getting banged up. He was getting just slammed that year. And over the next couple years, they built the team around Troy. And one of the things I appreciate about Troy, although he was a fantastic athlete, had a great arm. I mean, I don't know if there's anything that's more gorgeous than one of his throws to Michael Irvin 50 yards away from him and running away, and it just drops into his lap or drops into his arms, and then he runs the rest of the way for a touchdown. I mean, if that doesn't inspire you, then I think you're dead. Well, anyway, sorry, I digress. But Troy gave credit to the people around him. When I played football, I played offensive and defensive line, and the group that never got a lot of love was the offensive line. But Troy Aikman did. I mean, he would buy them steak dinners, and he would he would edify them, he would build them up, he would talk about what an important part they were of the team. And and he was right. He was the MVP of the Super Bowl, and yet when he won that, he gave a lot of credit to his linemen, and as he should. But he was humble, and we see this principle that Troy was a great athlete, but without Troy or without Troy's team, he wouldn't have been anything. Greatest basketball player in the history of the sport, Michael Jordan. And yet it wasn't until the team started building around him that he won one, then two, then three, and then eventually six championships. So, there's something about a team, but everybody on the team is different. And, diversity is powerful, because diversity, teams work better because of diversity. I mean, could you imagine everybody being built like a lineman on the team? I mean, a wide receiver that looks like an offensive lineman, not so good. But boy, do we need those offensive linemen to protect Troy and any other quarterback that's back there. So, everybody has their place. Everybody has an opportunity to be great. And we all have our talents. And, the Apostle Paul said the same thing. He said, hey, everybody wants to be an eye, but wouldn't we look silly if our bodies had all eyes and we didn't have any ears? And so the principle's been around forever. But, I think today that we don't always get that appreciation. We have a tendency to talk negatively to ourselves. I heard a fellow named Tony Rush say not long ago that if he talked to his wife the way he talks to himself sometimes, he'd be divorced. Because we really do talk negatively to ourselves, and we put ourselves down. Oh, I'm not talented. I'm not gifted. I can't. I'm not like this person. Therefore, I can't. I don't have value. And guys, you know what? That's not true. It takes every one of us to make a team. And we also need to be open to other people's differences. Not everybody's a great speaker. Other people, aren't great athletes. But everybody has to think. Another thing about that is about building a team and working on a team together and appreciation diversity is that, no matter how great we are, most of us really aren't extraordinary in more than 2 or 3 areas. There are a few people in the history of the world that were good at many things, but it's rare. You can probably name them on one hand, but most of us aren't great at a lot of things. And so by working with other people and appreciating their differences, we can actually be better ourselves. So my challenge, I guess, to everybody today is, first of all, don't beat yourself up when you look at other people that are successful, because you are valuable as well. And the second thing is that we need to be tolerant and celebrate the differences in other people. We aren't like everybody else, and that's a good thing, because that's what adds so much to the world and things of that nature. Hey guys, my name's Don Bonnell. Have a great evening, and remember, diversity is the secret to teams working well.